Hi everyone, my name is Lorenz and I get a lot of questions about my boot setup, so I have some new boots here from Dalbello. Big thank you to Sport Trade Australia and Dalbello for supporting me. I thought I'd share with you a little bit about how I set my boots up. Before we get started, it's very important that you have a decent boot fitter and one that understands both fitting and ski technique. I'm fortunate in that I work with two very experienced fitters, Riley McGlashan and also Sam Watling, who I'm working with today. Sam is the owner of Gravity in Jindabyne. He's an outstanding boot fitter and I recommend seeing Sam if you're in the area. So there are three areas that I'm really focused on when I set my boot up. The first one is my alignment. That's pretty standard with boot fitting, and that's making sure that the foot is sitting appropriately within the boot and that when you're flexing the leg is tracking straight. It's important that alignment is set up for you, or the boot is aligned correctly, so that you can A, have maximum mobility of the foot for things like pronation, supination, inversion and eversion, but also the more skeletally aligned you are, the better chance you have at resisting forces. I have reasonably flat feet and they are relatively symmetrical. I've learnt over the years to self-correct the flatness of my feet without using a footbed, and I do this by lifting the arch a matter of millimetres. I prefer this because it allows my arch to collapse effectively when I pronate. I also have a little bit of tibial varum and the bulk of the muscle in my lower leg tends towards the outside. For that reason I use the canting adjustments to tip the upper shell outwards. I also want the lower shell tipped outwards. So for that I use angled plates on the bottom of the boot sole. The red pieces are just flat plates that come with the boot. The black pieces are angled plates. So I use a 1.5 degree angled plate on my left boot and a 2 degree angled plate on my right boot. Once you add these or any plates to the bottom of your boot, you do need to grind the top of the toe and heel piece just so that the boot still fits into bindings. The second part that I look at is the angle of my tibia. The tibia angle affects my ability to manage pressure through flexion, both in the moguls or through a transition. Because I'm in a relatively stiff boot, the ankle doesn't have much movement, so my neutral tibia angle will really allow for more flexion throughout the body without affecting my center of mass forwards or backwards too much. The DRS shell comes with a screw-in spoiler, and the new version has an adjustable rear cuff spoiler that velcros to the liner. I use both spoilers, however previously I made my own adjustable spoiler with rubber which was about 5mm thick and complemented the spoiler that came with the shell. And the last part is having an ankle that's in a neutral position that allows for mobility again. If I have too much of a tibia angle and the ankle is then too closed, it reduces my mobility. And same again if I'm too far open, and it also affects then the balance point through my foot and how I receive energy from the snow. Because I've added additional spoilers behind my calf to increase my tibia angle, this in turn closes my ankle, which restricts my range of movement. So to balance this, I've added a 10mm wedge that sits under my heel on top of the boot board. This reopens my ankle joint, giving me maximum mobility and range with my foot and ankle. You must understand that this reduces volume in the boot and also affects the height of your ankle and the position of your knee, both affecting your fore aft and also how and where you balance on your foot. It's important that you figure out what is the most efficient for your body and your level of skiing. Please don't copy someone else's boot setup, as it will most likely not work for you. You'll need to work with a boot fitter to measure and assess your foot, ankle and body structure, along with your skiing ability and technique to then balance the 3 points I've shared in this video. It's a matter of balancing all of these 3 points for the best outcome for your body, so this can take some time and a lot of trial and error. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I hope this has made some sense. The boot that I use is the Dalbello DRS World Cup in a medium flex in 27.5. The medium flex represents essentially a 150 flex according to the flex rating. The difference between this boot and its predecessor is they've used a different plastic in this, which seems a little bit softer. The other difference is the shape of the upper and the lower. The upper section actually sits a little bit higher on the lower section, or it doesn't come down as far. So when the boot flexes, it has a little bit more travel before the upper section meets the lower section. So in many ways it does seem a little bit softer. And to be honest, for me, that's a good thing. I think for the most part of what I do, I don't need a 150 flex boot. But in saying that, you know, when I am on very firm ice and I need that support, if I do the power strap up and the buckles up properly and firmly, then I have that support. So I really like this boot. Again, thank you to Dalbello for supporting me and Sport Trade Australia. You guys are excellent, and thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you out on the snow. If you found this video useful, then please check out projectedproductions.com, where you'll find hours of instructional videos that will improve your skiing. I hope to see you out on the slopes soon.